So I do think that it's very possible that branches are going to become smaller, more efficient. They're going to take on a different footprint as there's less and less person-to-person activity that occurs in financial transactions.
BusinessJournalDaily.com 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
Save, borrow, and invest with Farmers. Take heart knowing you're helping create a strong community. Mind your money at Farmers. Talk directly to local decision makers about your loans, investments, and insurance. Farmers. Fiercely local, fiercely loyal.
So I guess the question is, what's next? And I know that a big part of fintech is cybersecurity, and that's another issue. But what is next? I mean, how are we going to bank in the future? What's your crystal ball show? And as we get to being more digital banking and more, what about the branches? Are we going to have as many branches? Now, I know some of the bigger banks are closing branches. Here, we're seeing a little bit of it, but what about the branches? Anybody? Go for it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think branches really serve an important part of serving the communities. And, I think, the fintechs will, and in the digital transformation of banking, we will all be banking on our phones more. I think even banking, online on the computer is almost antiquated. The ability to check your balance by opening up your phone, transfer money, make payments, all of that is so convenient. And I think that will be something that will be a dominant form of banking. But the branches serve, I think, a different purpose. And, 717 is actually, we have 13 branches in the market. We're looking to nearly double the number of branches that we have in the market over the next 6 years. So we're making a significant investment into our branch network because we view branches not as transaction centers, but as kind of launching pads into the community to serve our community. One of the things that I think people will use branches for more is for consultative conversations. We look to expand our wealth management, insurance brokerages. I think it's, when you're looking to make major decisions, sometimes it's helpful to come in and talk to someone when you're looking to buy a home, save for retirement. Those are big decisions, and I think branches will serve a good use for that in the future.
Mark?
Yeah, I'll be happy to. Mike mentioned ATM cards earlier. In 1981, that was supposed to be the demise of branches. I mean, so you think about branches are always on life support, and I would challenge you, if you look at some of the largest banks in the country, they're starting to expand. I read the other day, we had one that were talking about adding 500 branches, another one 200 branches. Now, in their expanse branch networks, that may not be a big number, but at the end of the day, for us, I would agree with John. I mean, it is more than just a transaction. Now, demographically, it's important to understand that we have a demographic here in the Valley, primarily, and in most of our markets at Farmers, where we still have customers that love to come into the branch. It's more of a social event, if you will. But now for the younger generation, where mobile banking seems to be the most popular entree into our bank, there's still opportunity to come in and sit down and have either sit down and talk about some planning or even a discussion around retirement, whatever the case may be, so that we can offer the full menu of services that we have at Farmers. So again, it's not your father's or grandfather's branch anymore. It can't be, or you won't survive. Now, branch optimization is very important, though. I mean, as we're, entrusted with our shareholders and our customers, and you have to look at the opportunity to, if you decide you want to shutter a branch for whatever reason, proximity to another one, or maybe it's just not doing as well as you expected, but then you've got to backfill and then go de novo and put a branch in a spot where you think it makes sense. So for us, very, very important strategy at Farmers as well.
The thing about technology, I think we can all accept that it moves quickly. And if you're not 5 years, 10 years ahead of it, you're going to probably get passed up. But the other side of technology is you remove a little bit of the service and the customer service aspect that banks and credit unions are used to. So I think the branches will always be extremely important, like Mark said, because everything's easy online until you have a problem. And now you're on a 1-800 number and you can't get a hold of somebody and it has something to do with your mortgage and they're not accepting your payment. you want to sit and talk to someone that you have a familiar face, that you know you can go back to. So I think there's always going to be an aspect of customer service with fintech, and we really dilute that by saying like, oh, it's going to be the end of branches. Like Mark said, I think I've heard that 3 times in my 23-year career that branches are going to shrink. And every year, everybody goes through your branch, sees what your transaction count is, see if it's what your community needs. And sometimes it is pulling 2 branches close together and maybe having a better location and a better branch and experience for your clients. But I don't see the world of branches going away anytime soon.
Anybody over here, please?
I just want to say that I think that there's always going to be a need for brick and mortar. I think individuals like the stability that represents to them as compared to what they see in some fintechs. A lot of the fintech activity that you see today with some of the online banking are individual secondary accounts. It's where they go to as not their primary financial institution. I do, however, think that branches are going to change. They're going to evolve. I'm sure each of us are familiar with walking into some old banks and seeing a line of teller windows. Now, you may see some older facilities that would have 10 of them, and you go to them today and only 2 of them are utilized. The other 8 of them have storage or have some other secondary purpose. So I do think that it's very possible that branches are going to become smaller, more efficient. They're going to take on a different footprint as there's less and less person-to-person activity that occurs in financial transactions.
BusinessJournalDaily.com 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
Save, borrow, and invest with Farmers. Take heart knowing you're helping create a strong community. Mind your money at Farmers. Talk directly to local decision makers about your loans, investments, and insurance. Farmers. Fiercely local, fiercely loyal.